Very good. Dr. Zorian, how did you come up with the idea of Armenia Virtual College back in 2009?
Um, mhm. So the Armenian Virtual College was an attempt to reach Armenians worldwide and provide education in an online way. Back in 2000, mid 2005, six, we realized that e-learning is an important component. We started providing or preparing content in electronic multimedia manner where, through the internet to reach Armenians around the world. In 2009, we were able to open the doors to the public. And the idea was, again, mostly in diaspora, to reach Armenians who are spread all around the world with topics that identify their identity, identify their relationship with each other as Armenians, and with the heritage that Armenians inherited from many centuries for many thousands of years.
Okay.
So the concept was that to take this and disseminate it. Of course, since then we have done a lot. Since 2009, when we opened it to the public, in the past 13, 14 years, we have created content and users and activities that are quite well. I'll be happy to talk about them as well.
Okay, good. Dr. Zorian, what is the reason for your success when it comes to
Uh,
AVC?
Yeah, for ABC success, I think it is a couple of items together. One is that there was a need for it. There was a need to create Armenian content and a large Armenian diaspora that needed to be educated with that content. So the need was there. Second, the solution, the technology space was already there. We didn't want to reinvent the wheel. Therefore, we used the existing technology for e-learning. So e-learning technologies, and we added to that. We have augmented it with a number of innovative contents. But having the audience prepared for it, having a very good audience around the world, as you know, Armenian diaspora is over 7 million population all around the world. Of course, we had challenges to reach them all and so on, but one of the good things was that the audience was there and the technology was there. The third very important element that added to this triangle of success, I would say, is the Armenian organization that has been committed to education for a very long time, for over hundreds of years at that time, called AGBU, the Armenian General Benevolent Union. Since 1906, when it was founded, one of its key pillars has been education, has been educating Armenians around the globe, preparing the youth, preparing them in terms of their well-being, in terms of their identity, and providing them the knowledge that they need throughout their life cycle. So HBU have kindly agreed to sponsor this Armenian Virtual College and provide all the not only the financial needs of this program, but also the links worldwide, because AGBU happened to be present in numerous countries around the world with its chapters, with youth activities, with its schools, and so on. So they offered us this global network that we can reach. Therefore, I think these three elements were the key of our success from day one.
Okay, Dr. Zorian, why is it important to learn our language, our history, music, and our culture, especially if you may be a couple generations past coming from Armenia, but why is it still important to learn? Or
It's important for you as a person, if you are an Armenian, but also it's important for non-Armenians, and I'll touch on both. Um, as an Armenian, a person comes from Armenian heritage, whichever generation it is, whether you live on Armenian land, that is in Armenia, Artsakh, or you live outside the Armenian land, somewhere in the world, in New Zealand or in Chile. Your heritage is part of what defines you. Um, every human has a heritage. By acknowledging that heritage, you would know better where do you belong. You would know the richness of what your ancestors have created together, and you'll be able to understand, to appreciate, and discover yourself much better. So understanding the identity is a common thing that every human in the world would like to know the heritage and the content. So it's from that perspective. Second is for non-Armenians. For non-Armenians, there's a lot in the Armenian culture, in the Armenian history, experiences, know-hows, talents, and so on that can be shared with non-Armenians. Throughout the history, Armenians were influential in a number of things, through their music, through their architecture, through their arts and handicrafts. So not only for Armenians, but around the world. It's well documented, and we like to share that. So sharing what Armenians have learned, and also through their history. The Armenian history is also full of experiences. Unfortunately, the Armenian genocide had been one of the key elements that many non-Armenians know about. Again, it's an experience that Armenians had in the history that others need to know about, so that we avoid having that happen elsewhere. Not only for Armenians, for anywhere else. Genocide, as we know, is one of the worst things that could happen to a nation. So learning from it is very important. So in
Okay.
short, the Armenian experiences in culture, in history, and so on are very important for non-Armenians as well. Therefore, disseminating that information through the Armenian Virtual College, with 90% of its followers, the e-learners, are Armenians by origin, and 10% of the e-learners are non-Armenians. So both would benefit from that knowledge, from that content.
Okay. What, Dr. Zorian, what do you see in the future for AVC? What does the future look like for the
The
college?
future for AVC is quite interesting. For me, it's very exciting in two aspects. One is who it tries to reach, and what can we provide as content to reach them, and the expanding of that content itself as the needs are changing. We over the years have expanded our content, and we see more to be done in that domain. And let me try to touch on both domains. So one is who we are trying to reach. While initially we tried to concentrate on diaspora Armenians who have lack of knowledge and have the desire to learn the language, the history, the culture. So our first target was diaspora Armenians who like to know this. But over time, we learned that not only diaspora Armenians, but non-Armenians need to know about this, as I was mentioning earlier. And today we have thousands of non-Armenians who follow our programs, but also Armenians who are in Armenia also can benefit from the e-learning technologies, from the e-learning know-how, expertise that we are building for other topics. And that's where we started a few years ago to touch on non-Armenian topics as well that are needed in Armenia or with the Armenians who are on the land, such as the chess program that we provide, such as now the artificial intelligence courses that we provide, and so on and so forth. The acceleration programs for companies. So we do a number of topics that come through e-learning as well, through the e-learning technologies that AVC now is an expert in, but we cover topics that are beyond the Armenian identity-oriented topics. They are further knowledge-oriented, but require also e-learning technologies. That's from the topical and people overview. One more thing I see in the future of AVC, that is advancing the technologies that we use. When we started back in 2006 to prepare this, 2009 to offer the courses, since then, e-learning technologies have advanced a lot. So our ability to move with it, we have also already changed our courses, updated our courses. For Armenian language, we have version 2.0, which is far more advanced in its technology use. But we cannot stop there. As you know, technology is a continuous race. It advances itself very fast. And e-learning technologies are among those. Therefore, we have dedicated teams. We're part of the worldwide e-learning community. scientifically to learn, to contribute to, and to use newer technologies. The new ways of learning, not only via computers, not only via your mobile devices, but also with virtual reality, with augmented reality, using the metaverse as an environment to teach Armenian history, to teach events in our past, to teach our geography, to teach the different architectural monuments and so on. So there's a lot that we can do with today's advanced technology domains, and we're already doing very good work in this. And I see, therefore, expansion in the people we are reaching, expansion in the topics that we are disseminating, and expansion in the technologies that we are adopting.
Okay. And the last question here, why is it important for our viewers to take an AVC course? If you were going to talk to somebody that hasn't taken one in the past, why should they take one now, or what will they gain from it?
Yes, I think two things. One is the knowledge. That if you have the desire, and many of us have the desire to know our knowledge, to increase our content, so information. So one piece is the information, topics that I mentioned already, learning the language the Armenian language, learning the history, the culture, the architecture, the music, the chess, and so on. So learning and information is one component of it. And it is done in a very modern way, a very pleasant way. It's not the paper books that our ancestors used to use, but rather the dynamic, the multimedia e-learning technologies. So information is one. And that information, by the way, is not only given in one instructional language, but rather in 7. So you can learn all this content in English, in French, if your first language is Spanish, in Spanish, Russian, in Turkish, and also the 2 Armenian branches. So the entire content is available in 7 languages. And that's one component, I think, of the benefits. That's the information in modern way in multiple languages. The second is the connections. As an Armenian, you should be connected to other Armenians. Otherwise, you're an isolated cell. A nation is a global network, especially the Armenian nation is a very global network because we're distributed in many, many places. Today, AVC has e-learners from 132 countries around the world. So it's truly a global distribution. So I think one of the things that a person can benefit from is being connected. So connectedness is an important thing with others, whether they are Armenians or non-Armenians who are interested in those topics. Being part of virtual classroom, doing projects together, discovering things jointly, and so on, builds that network. And suddenly you are in a class with others who are in different parts of the world, and you have similar interests, and you are developing relations with them, and that helps strengthen the network. So to be part of a community, you need a stronger network. To summarize, information and connectedness.
Well, thank you very much. I know you're a very busy person. Could you maybe share where you're traveling to and how you're able to carry on a full-time job and do this as well?
Yes, so it is true. All of us are, I think, very busy people. In my case, I do my day job, which is, as I mentioned earlier, in the semiconductor domain, in chip design technologies, and that requires sometimes traveling. Despite the fact that today we can do lots of things virtually, especially after the COVID, we are used to work from our home offices, even though we go to our regular offices now as well, but virtually you can do a lot. But still, traveling, the in-person relationship, in-person communications are important. Therefore, that's part of what I do, to visit our teams around the globe. So in my company, we have teams in many, many countries as well. So visiting the teams is one important thing for the collaborations, for the reviewing the projects and so on, especially our team in Armenia, which I am partly responsible for. And we have I'm very proud that we have over 1,000 employees of our company in Armenia. They do excellent technology work. Therefore, I need to visit them often. That's a reason for me to go to Armenia to review the projects and to collaborate on new ones to come. So that's one of the reasons. Second is, of course, we're active in our research, and therefore we need to participate in conferences, give keynotes, panels, and so on. And also I do visit some of the users of our technology, our customers, to understand their roadmaps, to advance with them through that cycle as well. So for my company needs, therefore, whether the locations, the conferences, or the customers are important visits all around the globe. On the Armenian side as well, being part of the AGBU, which is the largest non-profit Armenian organization. I'm proudly member of the board of directors of that organization. And for that, we have many chapters around the world, lots of activities that we participate in, AVC being one major project among those. So I do visit Armenian communities and Armenia, of course, because of AGBU and AVC needs as well.
Okay. Thank you so much today, and have a very safe trip. Okay.
Thank you. Thanks a lot.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you for this good program.